Hello, shining ones. Magus here on a beautiful day in Asha. If you're brand new to the channel, we're Zoroastrians. We are the Magi. And today's message, I'm going to title it Healed from Cancer. And I want to share this testimony with you. This is a woman I prayed for. I saved this message. This was 12 years after her healing. But I mean, it's been probably over 25 years. She says, I remember that day so vividly. I knew when you prayed over me and told me that I was healed. I knew in my spirit and heart that was a divine appointment. I will never forget that moment in time. All my love, I am so grateful for your obedience to God's calling to come to my house that day. She knew the moment I told her she was healed, she believed it. We're going somewhere with this. This is important for everything in your life, not just healing. Everyone in the room was so sure. Her husband took me outside, a big, beautiful mansion up on a hill, took me out to his tennis courts and basketball courts far away so no one could hear, and started just confessing. She had been given a death sentence. So he went out and found another woman. And so he's got all this kind of guilt and shame. And the point of that, though, is that there was this knowing that something miraculous took place to the point that he went through all that she knew that she knew that she knew. I want to share a few more stories. And then I want to share also, how do these sickness and diseases come upon people? How does failure come upon people? Why are there some people that seem to have everything and some people that just can't get anything, right? It's just, they're one of those tattooed, born to lose type people, and not from a lack of trying. They just seem stuck in a rut and they can't get out of it. It's just bad luck. There's people with good luck or bad luck, it would seem like. I'm going to show you what's actually behind it. I want to share a few more stories, and you'll see why, because you need to understand the mechanism of how sickness and failure and pain and suffering, what's the mechanism that makes that in one person's where they seem like they don't have anything, and this person seems like they have everything. And then the person that has everything seems to be getting more and more and more and can do no wrong. And the person that his life is crap, even the little they have seems to get taken away from them. Another story. This one's a little more humorous. I was at the park with my kids, and there was a woman there, and Spirit told me, go over and pray for her. It's like a download, just instant knowing, right? It's not that linear time in a conversation. It's just an instant download. This woman has cancer. She's dying. She has kids that need her, a family that needs her. It's not her time to go. Go pray for her. Awkward, and I always joke about this was then the time of that hashtag Me Too. I'm the only dad in the park. All these women, and they're huddled together. I don't think there's anything scarier than a bunch of girls huddled together, my friends, for me, for a guy. And so I have to walk up to her, and they all eyes on me. So I start sharing. I said, I know this is going to sound crazy, but Spirit just told me that you have cancer. Is that true? She said, yes. Spirit told me that it's not your time to go, that you have kids that need you, and that I'm to pray for you. Is that okay? And so now I'm just letting Spirit lead. Spirit told me, I felt this at least in my heart of hearts, that I was to put my chest to her chest, hold her, and I'm speaking into her ear, and I'm decreeing and declaring. And again, I kind of, nothing funny about hashtag Me Too, but I was so aware of this. I'm aware of what Spirit told me to do, but I'm so aware of the time I live in, that a strange man coming up and putting my chest on her chest, holding her this tight and close. But Spirit was showing me, I'm holding this frequency, and it's all about frequency. My God, I'm divine health, and sickness and disease dies when it touches me, my friend. And it's my person. You guys know me. I start getting wound up. Books start falling off my shelves. That's how I was getting at the park. Little kids are looking, is mommy okay? These other women are going, this is what's going on here. I'm decreeing and declaring sickness and disease dies when it touches, and you will live and not die, and your children need you. And I'm getting louder and more. And so anyway, when I felt Spirit told me it's done, right? Just that, it's that knowing, not wondering, not hoping that took. I said, oh, there you go. You're welcome. Went back and played with my kids. Not too long after, I was at the park again. This time my wife was with me, and this beautiful woman walks up, and is the one I prayed for. I didn't even recognize her. And she first addresses my wife. She goes, is this your husband? I wanted you to tell you what a great man he is. And she told the story, my friends, and how she was completely healed, a miracle, and now she's still alive to be with her children. Makes me emotional. I goof around a lot, joke around a lot, but I feel all of that, my friends. Another story. I won't do too many of these. I want to do a few. There's a reason for it. Not bragging. Even though I goof around, I joke sometimes, but there's a reason for sharing these stories. I was in Florida on a surf safari, right? Took my trailer there, right on the beach, living it up, surfing every day. Made some great friends. One of my friends was having struggles. I just knew it. And how I knew it, at that time, and don't do this, but at that time, I was a little younger, a little crazier, a little arrogant, and we get these awful thunder, lightning storms. Everyone would clear the beach. It's dangerous. You don't be out on the water surfing. My mind was, I'm the Magus. I live in Asha. This is the perfect opportunity for me to be out there on those storm waves. No one else out there. Don't have to share the waves. I'm not going to get struck by lightning. And there was me and only one other guy. He was out there because he was suicidal. He hated his life. He had OCD from the time he was a little child. And he went through all of the treatments and doctors and medications. And there'd be some times where it seemed like it was getting better and then it'd fall apart. By this point in his life, I'm guessing he was probably in his maybe late 30s, early 40s. I'm just guessing by trying to think back and look at him. And he got to a point where he had lost everything. He had to go move in with his sister. He had a very successful career, still had the Mercedes and a little bit of money left in the bank, but he had lost pretty much everything because the OCD got so bad that he couldn't function. One of the things he couldn't do, he made his living on a computer. These OCD thoughts told him, if you hit the letter S or you hit the number 6, someone in your family is going to die. And they tell him who and paint this ugly, terrible picture. So can you imagine being at work and you can't type those things and then trying to explain to your superiors why? Because if you do, someone in your family will die. Think you're crazy. It destroyed his life. And it got to the point where I remember one time, and stay with me for these stories, my friends. There's a reason for all of it, I promise. And by the end of this, you'll be a little more in control of your life. If you feel out of control, like why me or why can't I, or you'll have an understanding. You have to have understanding. And I think you'll get this as we share these stories. And then I'll go into mechanics also. But where were we? He had lost everything. And so, we were out surfing one day, and it was a perfect wave, guys. And I was so excited for him. I'm like, yeah, because we always cheer each other on. If you need to make friends, just find activity and go do it with someone that you both share. You'll fall in love with each other. You'll root for each other. You have something in common. So I'm rooting for him. Oh, it's a perfect wave. He's right at the right spot. I hear him scream, jump off, and then he just goes in. He's crying. So I'm thinking, did he like pull a hamstring, or what in the world would happen? So the waves were so good. Eventually, I paddled in to check on my friend, and I'm all, dude. Okay, so I've been noticing some, behavior that seems a little off. I think I know you well enough to say that. What's going on? And he just poured his heart out. The whole story of the OCD, lost everything from the time he was a kid. And he said, it's getting worse. He goes, dude, I don't know what to do. He goes, I go home every night and I drink myself blacked out drunk just to stop the voices in my head. And he goes, I don't even care. I'll tell you. On that wave, I heard a voice say that if you catch this wave, that someone in his family would die. And he goes, and I can't stop the voices, and they get louder, and if I can't ignore them, and the medications don't help. And he goes, he just wanted to die. And I said, and something rose up inside of me, and I said, before I leave Florida, and I saw this, my friends, it's like one of those visions. I had a download of vision. I said, before I leave Florida, you will run up to me saying, I'm healed, I'm healed, I'm healed. For some of you that know this story, know I just got emotional because you know what happens. But I feel it every time I tell this story, especially when I think back. And so we started meeting every morning before we went out to surf. And we started doing what I called first circle. And I'd actually draw a circle in the sand around him and say, inside of this circle, the lion illusion cannot enter. My friends, inside of this circle, it's God. And the devil can't enter God for this time in this circle. My friends, and it wasn't instantaneous. It took months of doing this because he had up to 40 years of training of the lion illusion. So, but now I'm presenting truth. I'm presenting light. Long story short, I pull up months later. It's getting that time where I just told my daughter pretty soon I'm going to be leaving Florida, going back to Idaho. And we pull up to our surf spot, and I see few cars up ahead, my buddy's Mercedes with the surfboards on top. Opens the door, running to me. I'm healed. I'm healed. I'm healed. Tears pouring down his face, embraces me, hugs me, crying, completely healed. Went home. Years later, still in contact with him. And it was so sweet. He had always, especially if we're texting, he'd do a bunch of SSSSSS or 6666666 to show me. He goes, I'm still healed, brother. Some of the crazier things I've seen. One time, I was in the car with my dad. And at that time, the most clear spirit has ever spoken to me. And I heard pray. And I said, in my mind, Dad didn't even know what was going on. I said, pray for who? Is it mom? Is something wrong with mom? First thing my mind went to. Spirit said, no, it is. And then said the name of this person. And again, pray. So at this point, I'm not even questioning, well, if you're God, why don't you just take care of it? Why are you coming to me with it? God says pray, Spirit says pray, I start praying. I start praying protection over this person. I start praying in light language, spirit, until I get this complete peace. Okay, thank you, everything's fine. So when I got home later that day, I looked at the clock on the car to see. Didn't have a cell phone on me. Looked at the clock on the car to see what time it was. Got home later, talked to this person. Said, what in the world happened at this exact time that God would speak to me so clearly to actually say, pray for you? She tells me the story of how she's walking to work. Carload of men pull up, hooting and hollering, hey, baby, hey, good looking, get in the car. And she's just like, no, no. So they go up ahead, and then they pull out at a turnout. Then as she walks up, they're like, grab her. They're trying to abduct her. She said she called out on the name of the Lord, and they froze like statues. At the exact same time, Spirit was telling me to pray. I want to go back to that. Why did God have me pray? If he's God, what do I have to do? Why didn't he just take care of it? My friends, and this is what I'm starting to want you to see. Have you noticed something? All of these instances I'm sharing with you, it takes us to be involved. My friends, God is spirit. God is a force. God is truth. God is the real above all real. God is the unconditional love. God is the peace, the joy, the power, and the freedom. But it's a force, and it works through only you. God, that spirit, that force will never override anyone else's, what they decree and declare. I had to decree and declare in that situation where they weren't able to say, my God, I realize I am divine health, and sickness and disease dies when it touches me. There's a hedge of protection around me, my God, and I fear for any fool that tries to touch me. They'll be lucky if they just freeze. There's those of us, Magi, that must speak it in to the world. Matter of fact, I was just talking to my dad about this a couple days ago. Over the last 2 weeks, people have come out to his house that had death sentences from cancer for him to pray. One flew out just for 1 day. Another wanted to be baptized by him. Why? Because he's seen so many healings. And I said, Dad, because he's not a religious man, if you know him. Like you wouldn't think, oh my gosh, a guru, right? He's a wild Texan, just like his mom was. Matter of fact, if you see him at a church service or reading, my mom reads scripture to him, then explains to him what it means. He's all, just give me the meat and potatoes. I don't need all the fluff. And if he hears, well, you just have to pray and believe it, and it is, he runs with it, and it works for him a lot. My friend, and I was asking him about, I go, what is it? Why? Because you're not a religious man. You know, doesn't even try to act like one. But you heal people. A lot of people come to you because they know. And he said what it is same thing he used for business and everything else. He gets people to believe in themselves until they can believe in themselves more. That's his job. To get people to believe in themselves until they are able to believe in themselves more. Because as you start to get little wins, start to feel a little better, do a little better, it gets a little easier to believe in yourself. That maybe what he said is true. Maybe I am better than I was told I am, better than I even thought I was. My friends, that's the secret to success. That's the secret to healing. That's the secret to doing the impossible. Do you know who you are? To do that, it makes me think of Asha 11. I got Ashas all around me, and I can't even find one right now, but you know Asha 11. It talks about you must remove the corruption. You must remove the lie and illusion. You must remove the false stories. So that the truth is revealed. I'm thinking, was it Michelangelo? When they asked him, how out of a block of stone do you get these most gorgeous angels and sculptures? Right? He said, you just got to chip away all the stuff that isn't the beautiful angel until the angel appears. You got to set down all the lies that were spoken over you, all the fears, all the low frequency. Hey, can I share one more thing with you? I'm almost on the verge of tears through this whole video, so I hope I can tell this story. Our wonderful friend Dorothy, my biggest supporter, other than maybe Timmy, Richard, a few others I can think of, loved me so much. She got a cancer diagnosis. She said, Magus, I messed up. You're going to learn something from this. This is it, guys. She said, I messed up, Magus. She goes, my aunt got breast cancer. And then Dorothy got overwhelmed with fear and focus on breast cancer. The fear, she said, I could feel it. It was like an entity, the fear that it was coming for her. So she started just focused on what can she eat that doesn't cause cancer? What can she not eat that would cause cancer? What can she do and exercise? And she was so focused on cancer. Do you remember what I've been teaching you guys? The only prayer that is answered is the prayer you become, the frequency, the feelings that you hold. You remember what I'm always telling you? Don't ever let yourself worry, because worry is praying for the worst outcome. If you're worried about sickness, disease, failure, whatever it is, you're actually calling it in because you're thinking about it. You're focused on it. You're giving strong feeling and emotion, and it's all about feeling, emotion, and frequency. And you're actually calling that thing in. She said, Magus, the doctor just gave her that diagnosis. And she goes, what's going to happen? So I did the best I can to tap into my intuition. And I wouldn't have spoke this if I didn't know. I said, I wasn't just being positive. I said, Dorothy, I'm excited because I need you. You're my biggest cheerleader. You're going to live and not die. And I said, I see it. I know it. My friends, this cancer is not going to get you. You're going to live. She did. My friends, the cancer went away. She was healed. She was happy for years, excited, celebrating. Came to me probably a couple years later, I'm guessing, and said, Magus, it's back. What's going to happen? I'm torn on maybe if I should have handled this different, because I know more now. Things aren't always written in stone. You can change the future. You can change the trajectory, but the trajectory that she was on right then, she was going to die, and I saw it. And I shouldn't have spoke it. I should have said, the trajectory you're on right now doesn't look good, but we're going to change this together. I beat myself up for this. But I saw she was going to die. I started sending her messages. I started telling her about my samadhi experience, of how beautiful it is on the other side. I told her, if everyone knew how beautiful it is on the other side, I'm afraid they'd all be killing themselves. And I don't think God would be happy with me with that. So, we have a purpose here. It's wrong for people to kill themselves. You'd be so mad at yourself because you see how beautiful and a gift this life is, and what your life means to others, and how harming yourself or killing yourself, how it hurt the others, my friends. But I was just telling her, my God, Dorothy, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful in that light and that pure love. And she died and she passed on, and we've missed her to this day. But what I want you to see here, not just what I learned, but when she put her focus, when the fear came on her, and she started, what can I eat? What can I not eat? And it brought it on. Now, I'm not saying all sickness and disease is brought on by yourself. That's a horrible thing to say. That's not it. That's what happened here. She said it, not me. But I've seen it, my friends. I've seen this with disease with other people's testimonies. If you think For instance, if a thought in your mind that if they think, oh, if they got sick and diseased, they wouldn't have to go to work anymore, right? Almost like when you're a kid and you're excited, you got a cold, so you can stay home from school, and mommy just takes care of you on the couch, and you watch cartoons, and you eat all day, and there's no homework, and bullies and stress, and you almost look forward to getting sick. That can happen as an adult. My friends, a lot of sickness and disease, from a cold to some of the worst, right? Just stupid thoughts like, if you're sick, right, you don't have to help your friends move, right? If you got a bum leg, you don't have to help your friends move anymore. And my friends, my goodness, your leg will get bum. Sickness and disease will come on you because we are powerful creators. And your body listens to your energy, your frequency. It is so important what we do here with Asha. I need my Asha book. Are you guys going to just stay with me? I don't feel like rushing this. Where is my Asha? It's bugging me now that I don't see it. Right here. There you are. Especially this one. This is my very first one. And it's, well, you guys have seen it. It's literally falling apart. Every page is written on. But there's such an energy, a magic, a power in this, my friends. All the miracles and testimonies I've written in here, the epiphanies that I still get in each statement and teaching, my friends. But the power of what we do here at the Order of the Magi to get people to believe in one, the truth, the real God. Not one of the lies they've been given. That's why the world lives in that mixed world of love and hate, peace and war, health and disease. Suffering, right? The religions are all about suffering and pain and blood sacrifice. My friends, and it's the world they created because we are powerful creators. And it's so important every day that we fill ourselves with the highest capital T truth, the real above all real. I am the perfect creator's perfect idea. What else could come from his perfect mind? You should be saying that to yourself every day. My friends, you should be so cautious. Stop watching filth on TV, listening to it on the radio, hanging out with people that are so negative. My friends, your life's too precious. Your mission, your purpose is too precious. You are Asha living on the earth. I want to share another story with you. You guys enjoying these? My God, we're 27 minutes into this. Who's still with me? Go to the comments and say, what's up? What's up, Magus? Asha is. This is one of my favorite stories. One of the most nerve-wracking ones. I've got so many of these stories. I might just keep talking here. We'll see. Maybe it'll stir something in you. But the most miraculous, and I've seen a lot. I had this uncomfortable, to say the least, feeling. Especially if you're a parent, you'll understand this. I just got this message to watch out for my kids. Something was going on with my kids. So by this time, I'd been divorced, but my ex-wife knew I heard from God. I said, watch the kids. Something's going on, something dangerous. I got a really, really, really bad feeling about this. Watch the kids. I talked to their teachers at school. I said, I don't know if you believe in all this stuff, but I know something's going on. Watch my kids extra right now. Told my parents, told friends, told everybody. Told my kids, be careful. I can't remember exactly how much longer after I got that initial download, but I was in that place between awake and asleep. And Spirit took me to the bottom of my ex-wife's driveway. And her driveway was super steep. And then it shot out into the street. And it was a real nice residential area. So the kids, they would ride their scooters and bikes and skateboards down and shoot out into the street and laugh and giggle and having a great time. But this day, well, let me tell you my part, then I'll get to that. So Spirit had me stand there between the driveway and the street. And he told me to put up a shield of faith. Now this is happening, and I don't know what a shield of faith is yet. I'm picturing like when I was in Sunday school, and there's that little dude with a sword of truth and a shield of faith on his arm. The Spirit showed me it was like an energetic force field, basically blocking the driveway from the street. And then he's giving me words to pray. And then I'm praying in tongues. My friends, and then I got that complete peace that he always gives me when the job is finished. Not long later, my ex-wife calls me and said, "You won't believe what just happened." She goes, "I just lived through a nightmare." My son was on his scooter and he's going down the driveway like always. But this day there was a car blocking his view down the street. And there happened to be some young kids driving like maniacs down the street speeding. She's yelling because she could see he was going to be hit by the car. They were coming at the exact same time. She's screaming, "Stop, stop." He couldn't hear her because her new husband was mowing the lawn. She said it was like something out of a nightmare. It's just a scenario where she's yelling, but the mower is in between her and her son and the distance. He couldn't hear. He got to the bottom of the driveway and her words bounced off of an invisible wall. My God, my God. Can you see the advantage of Asha? I won't think about it. But if I didn't have Asha, if I didn't have the all good Spirit, I would probably be dead right now or just not in a very good place. But I do have Asha. I do have the all good Spirit. I do have the Magi that were, are, and shall be. I do have Hashem Vahu, Vahistem Esti, Ushta Amai, Yatashai, Vestai Hashem. When 1/3 is prayed, you partner with the all good Spirit. When 2/3 is prayed, you partner with the Magi that were, are, and shall be. And when the prayer is finished, every prayer of protection and provision and health and prosperity and freedom and goodness all becomes yours. Even the prayers that were prayed thousands of years ago and the prayers that haven't even been prayed by the Magi that haven't even come to the earth yet all become mine. So you see, my friends, when I say Asha is, those two words, everything I just shared with you is in those two words. But how many people can hear it? How many people can hear the capital T truth when we say God is undefiled, undiluted, unmixed? He's the love without the hate. He's the peace without the war. He heals and he doesn't send sickness and disease. He's only good. Can you accept that God? Can you know only good? And Spirit put this message on my heart today with Asha too. You probably can't even read that. This is what my book looks like. But right there, it says, know only good. My friends, and to know it is to be it. When this was written, to know was to be. A man, when he got married, would know his wife. The two become one. It's that union. You and God, one. You and divine health, one. You and protection and provision, one. My friends, you and Asha, the perfect creator's perfect idea, the only thing that could come from his perfect mind, one. Know only good. Look at this. Look what Spirit showed me today. Perceive and understand only the good, not good and bad. You know only good. People might tell you, Magus, you got your head in the clouds. Yeah, I like it there. I don't like the world you created. I don't like your hate, your entertainment, your government, your religion, your ridiculous, hateful gods. I keep my head in the clouds and I'm living good. I'm living God. I know only God good. And then look at this, my friends. Let. You got to let it be. Let your experience and practice be the same. What does that mean? Let your experience and practice. It means you want your destination direction and the path to be the same. My friends, if you want God, it's the path is God. You got to become God. You want love, the path is love. You got to become love. You got to know it. You got to be it. One frequency, one mind, one heart, one soul, one spirit, one God. I am. My God, I feel that with everything I am right now, and I hope you do too. I hope it comes through the camera. That's God. That's the capital T truth. That's the real above all real. Be aware at all times of your high standing. Always remember the covenant written on your mind, that you might not forget you are a child of the King. This is that Michelangelo chipping off all those pieces that aren't the divine God good that is you. The health, the life, the peace, the power, the light that runs off the darkness. Flip over to Asha 11. I will release my own ideas to receive God's idea. Are you willing to set down all the thoughts, stories, ideas about God, about the world, about yourself that you had, long enough to hear from God's idea? That is Asha, that is the only thing that could come from a perfect creator's perfect mind, bliss and perfect perfection. Instead of justifying those monster gods, if you have to justify the horrendous deeds of your God, if you have to take an apologetics course like I did in Bible college to justify the horrific deeds your God was doing, you got the wrong God, because it ain't God, because it ain't good. It says removing the corruption puts potentialities to their proper use. That's you. You're just a big bundle of potentiality, my friends. But you got to remove the corruption. Keep chopping off those words spoken over you, those lies spoken over you, and be speaking the truth. And go deep into that subconscious mind. Are there things you're hiding? Fears? Worries? Do you think there's some advantage if you got sick? You can lay on the couch and watch TV. You can do that anyway and feel good, my friends. You must burn out the impurities to find true essence. Purity is a must. If your vessel is mixed with poison, pour it out. Fill it with pure substance. It takes a long time to purify a vessel, one drop at a time. That's too much trust in time. My friends, pour out your vessel and let truth fill you and love fill you. And the real good God fill you. Flip over to Asha 12. There's nothing for me outside. We've been talking about this. It's time you got to fast from the outside world. Don't look at it. Don't listen to it. Don't think about it. My friends, we're going to go inside to that divine spark, that bliss, that perfect perfection, that light, that God, where you see that I come from God, I'm made of God, I am God's stuff, good stuff. You see the light that is you. You're not going to find it outside of yourself. You're going to fast from that outside world, that negativity. You're going to go inside and find that divine spark. It says, I've spent too long looking outside of myself, looking for meaning, purpose, affirmation, approval, love, truth, happiness, and even God, just to find myself ever searching. So I shut up all the stories I was fed, all the lies I was fed, and I go inside to that divine consciousness, that pure, unconditional love, that pure light, and I find the Savior I was looking for. Oh my God, it was me all along. No wonder God asked for me to pray when something bad's going on. My friends, I am the Savior, and that Savior is born in me through pure virgin consciousness. My God, it's the Mother Mary, and it's the Jesus. It's the Isis and the Horus. My friends, it's that divine pure lake that Zarathustra was born in. Water is the pure conscious mind, the pure mind, the true mind, the God mind, the Vohu Menu, the Christ mind, where you have that realization that God and you are one. It's the same thing, God. I know that's blowing some people away. You're going to have to see it. It's all one thing. You, the Savior, God, love, peace, joy, Asha, the perfect Creator's perfect idea. The perfect idea is you. I realize there is no, never has been, in truth cannot be separation from my good, my God, because we are one. If you're living in a nightmare that feels separated, it's a lie and illusion. Start tearing down those veils, those lies. How do you do that, Magus? With your sword of truth. Start cutting that stuff up. Get that sword of light and watch the darkness flee. You got to think it. You got to speak it. You got to live it. You've got to be it. Asha 13, my all-time favorite. This is the formula of the Magi. Good is good, bad is bad. Could it be that simple, Magus? It's that simple. That's why Asha 2 says, know only good. Good is good, bad is bad. It's our formula. I could get in something funny here, but I'm going to stay on track. It says the original word of the good religion is that all good comes from the Creator and that no evil comes from him. From this original word, Asha, the perfect Creator's perfect thought, the only thing that could come from his perfect mind, that's our reason to believe. Magi, memorize that. The original word, when we hold it, when we let it become us, it makes our spiritual world straight, our frequency, our beliefs, our subconscious beliefs, what we are, brings it into order. And that, in return, brings our world into order because the world reflects what you are. Or don't you love also that AI and science and quantum physics is showing this is true, what we've been talking about? Makes it a little easier for the people coming up to believe it now. I see young people all the time. They're like, oh yeah, I get this. I know how that works, right? Vision boards and positive thinking and belief, and then how we can change our world with changing us first, our frequency, our beliefs, our energy, our positivity, our love, our story, our God. The original word of false religion is that evil comes from the Creator. And in this false idea is all the evil creatures suffer. We end all suffering by getting rid of those mixed monster gods. Those gods that love and hate. Stone your children when they're disrespectful. Go in, kill the men, women, and children, and bring back the spoils to the Lord and the priest. When you get rid of those stories, those gods, those books, those energies, they're energies, they're frequencies, they're feelings. How does that make you feel? Most people don't think that deep into it. What would that look like? It's one thing to read it in your Bibles and Qurans, but what if you went in with a sword and you're to kill men, women, and children? I want to share a story with you. Let's do that another time. I'll write that down so I don't forget. It's important, but I feel Spirit telling me I don't want to take away from the message that we have here. I want to stay focused on this. So let's wrap this up. Don't worry. Don't fear. Be very, very cautious of what your eyes see and ears hear. Know only good. Be good. Be love. Be the peace. Don't let outside influences influence your frequency. Don't let the world dim your light. You got to shine bright, and you'll make that world bright. Right? Remember we were talking about at the beginning? Why do some people, they live so good, have it all, some none? You know, Jesus actually talked about that, didn't he? He said, those who have, more will be given to them. Those who have not, even what they have will be taken from them. My friends, it's a momentum. So important. What do you truly believe? Do you want to be hurt so you get out of work? Maybe get what you feel like is attention? Maybe everything you've done up to this point, you just keep failing, and you need an excuse. I failed because I got a bad leg. You got some sickness or disease. Otherwise, I could have done more. Are you brave enough to look that honestly and then make the changes? Make the adjustments? Are you strong enough to be a Magi and know only good? Is it worth it to you? Is it worth it to your family and your children and the generations to come? I think if you're still on this channel, oh my God, 44 minutes into this, you are. You know, it says in our holy text that before we came into earth, into body and form, we saw with Vohumana, the God mind, our life from beginning to end, and we chose to come because we were going to move that needle from negativity to positivity, from darkness to light, from hate to love, from lie to truth. And you chose to come. So you're going to do it because you already saw it. And I believe in you until you believe in yourself more. Because you are beautiful and you are loved unconditionally. And I think that's what draws people to the Order of the Magi. They know they're experiencing and feeling something genuine, a love that is unconditional. You don't have to earn it. If you disappoint us, it's not taken away. You are loved because of who and what you are. My God, I see you. I'm amazed by you. And I'm excited to watch your story unfold. Beautiful, shining one. Will you say it with me one time? Asha is